am I credible enough to run for office, or am I just fooling myself? It was a terribly difficult decision. I had to consider a lot of factors. I had to also, I had to deal with my own fears and question myself and my validity. Political organizations, especially really well-funded ones, like the BC Liberals were, incredibly well-funded, they have the means and the resources to dig deep into your personal life and to come up with the dirt that you've forgotten about or you don't even think matters. I was worried about those things. I was worried that people would, bring up some dirt that I didn't remember. It's harder for a transgender candidate to decide to run, and you do open yourself up for new kinds of attacks. But that said, I had already been a human rights activist and an equality activist and working in education. People had tried to use my identity against me a number of times, and I was fairly certain that the worst possible thing that could be said about me had already been said when it comes to me being transgender. Strangely enough, people came up with new things, which were shocking because actually they were not based on the truth. I was much more worried about what would happen maybe to my children's privacy, and safety. You know, you worry about safety when you put yourself into the public eye like this. I regret that some people who didn't want me elected resorted to smear campaigns and lies. I regret that. I think that's disgusting behavior and unworthy of political discourse. In 2013, I decided to come out as transgender. Like, to stop hiding it. To stop keeping it a very private story with a very, very small number of people to whom I was being incomplete with the truth. So when I finally, told my partner that I was going to come out, and when I sought help, I was having a crisis where I could not stand telling half-truth to my children. You don't break something like that to your children suddenly out of the blue. You work them into it. You teach them first a little bit of tolerance about gender identity. You expose them to a variety of gender identities and expressions. You show them that people sometimes have, deep feelings that may not be what other people necessarily know. And then you work it in that you're like that and that you're transgender.